This is IBM Museum. So after I ran the system information tool on the 65SX and seeing that IFS boot manager, and I didn't scroll through or select. I selected the other partition, the primary partition, but not that boot manager partition. And when I selected that after the video was over, it told me that that was a bootable partition for that boot manager. And I got thinking that the SCSI ID for the hard drive is set to 6. And so I did pull out my nice little handy pocket reference. I've shown this on another video. And in there, it has a setting for how these particular drives. This is it's showing the, I'm reading upside down. Let me get out my glasses. And so these are the 60 and 120 megabyte drives, which this model is. And it shows the switch settings that are here, and then down at the bottom it has the chart. And we're currently set to SCSI ID 6. These switches, and I'm fairly certain, despite having the manual and everything else, I'm fairly certain that I have not toggled through these switch settings. They're tucked down. See if, and I don't know if I need to have some light or something else here. I'm kind of, but the switch block is tucked down right in there. And with my nice little pointy tool there, I can go through and just, there's nothing to lose of me going through and selecting the other end of the range, of going through and I'm going to set SCSI ID 0. And of course I'll have to run through the reference diskette again, and we may not even need to seat this drive. It's nice. It's got the terminating resistor packs. That's what these little flaps are. And I don't know if maybe if somebody else had the drive and set that SCSI ID, or I don't know if it possibly could have been me just being misinformed or something else. And I'm just going to set that there. I already have the reference diskette in the drive. And let's get to video. And sometimes for the changing little things like the SCSI devices, sometimes it's just best to pull the battery and go through the configuration just like it is from scratch. But we'll see what it's going to tell us here. It should sense that SCSI ID for the drive has changed. I just want to see if we can get it bootable. Everything else is telling me that that's a bootable partition, and it would be great if it were something as simple as the SCSI ID of the drive. I don't know any history of the drive or who may have done that. I don't even remember where I got the system. And that's why these little pocket references are handy to show if otherwise. And it's a 4-pin switch block. I don't know if this camera will show it any better, but, or, you know, it's spanning that view of the webcam or something else. But I wouldn't have had an idea otherwise without a guide like that to tell me, you know, to know that the drive is set to, was set to 6, and that I possibly need to set it to something else. I mean, I went to the other end of the range. Okay. Okay, and that should be something in the form of saying what the heck's going on with the SCSI subsystem. Okay, enter. Okay. Forward. Okay, and we had the host adapter. Okay. Is set to SCSI ID 7. On previous videos, I've announced that I typically go through for like SCSI CD-ROMs. I'll set them to 3 just to get them that they're... And what I want to actually do, set and view. And then finally, I heard it click and power up that. Okay. So here we're going to go through and remove F keep and remove. Okay, so we're going to remove this. We're going to save the configuration. Okay, and okay, I think I can just exit all the way out. Let's eject the reference diskette. Go through that slow count on the adapter RAM. Okay, it did the diskette drive seek. Go through the slow count. And if this doesn't show any change, I mean, I can easily go back to saying that SCSI ID is 6, and there may be something else that's just messed up. But I thought it was worthwhile to try. No, it drops us back in the ROM basic. So there is something that is still not putting the system information tool diskette, that bootable diskette, back in the diskette drive. And a warm reboot, so we don't have to wait through that long memory count. Okay, disk information, hard disk by device number, and our partition table. Let's see, display drive letter owned. And see, there's no assigned drive letter. And so that boot manager partition 1 information, partition is startable, bootable, in parentheses. Starting head sector cylinder location. And ending head sector cylinder. And starting sector and number of sectors. And I don't know if that's probably something that is paired with the OS2. So there is a look at those partitions, and see, why is it identifying as just as 10 megabyte there? What size was it showing before? And I mean, that boot manager partition of being just a megabyte and the rest of the 114 megabyte being that OS2. And it doesn't have a drive letter. I don't think it's gonna I don't know if just that boot process is messed up and can be restored easily. I'll have to ask the OS2 experts, but well, I'll go through and I'll set the SCSI ID back to 6. I just thought it was a good attempt to see what I could get. Well, but that's all I have for now. This is IBM Museum. Thank you.